They don't know how the universe truly works.
Is Terrence Howard a genius, or is he completely out of his mind? Let's break down some of the stuff that he has said.
My first memory was almost like when you're dreaming and you're falling and you hit the bottom and you wake up. That was my first memory, but I didn't wake up here. I was inside my mother's womb. You sure about that?
Why is Terrence Howard the way that he is? An interesting fact that most people might be unaware of is an event that occurred called the Santa line slang involving Howard's father and a very young Terrence Howard. The Santa line slang was a nationally publicized incident that occurred on December 21st, 1971 in Cleveland, Ohio. The incident resulted in the death of one man, Jack Fitzpatrick. Tyrone Howard was convicted of manslaughter and served 11 months in prison. In 2005, the incident attracted some attention, again when it was revealed that Tyrone Howard is the father of actor Terrence Howard, who witnessed the incident as a young boy. Terrence Howard gave an interview on Oprah about the incident, but his account of what happened was later contradicted by his father, who accused him of trying to garner publicity for his own career. It's thought that pathological narcissists in many cases develop their extreme narcissism as a defense mechanism in response to extreme childhood trauma. For Terrence to witness something so terrible at such an early age around an event that should be a very safe and comforting formative experience for a young kid, seeing Santa leading into Christmas and presents, turned into an event that destroyed his family and essentially his reality as a child. The primary accounting of the event states that the Howards were accused of cutting in line for Santa. His dad got in an argument with somebody they cut in front of in line. Terrence's father deleted the dude from this reality with a sharp object. Terrence was only 2 years old at the time. Very sad. Terrence's father's charges were taken down to manslaughter for pleading self-defense, which seems kind of crazy to me. You cut in front of somebody in line and then use a weapon on him. I don't know the exact details, but that seems crazy. But he spent 11 months in prison and got out for good behavior immediately after his wife, Terry's mother, divorced him. So this event destroyed Terrence's entire family and reality, and is something a young child should never see. A level of trauma that most people don't experience at all in their life, let alone somebody at that young of an age.
They don't know how the universe truly works because their math has been off for so long, because their fundamentals are wrong. Now everything has this expiration and there's a loss to everything when the universe is perfectly balanced.
So it's understandable why he might reject objective reality.
I didn't come into this world the way everybody else does, I don't think. My first memory.
Perhaps this is why he is so obsessed with the claims of remembering being in the womb. It's a sort of coping mechanism for that trauma as a child.
You hit the bottom and you wake up. That was my first memory, but I didn't wake up here. I was inside my mother's womb.
A development of delusions of grandeur to cope. To claim that you have specific memories in the womb is absurd. There is no sensory and definable input to form any physical memory. Language hasn't even been developed in the brain yet. I would bet that one of the first actual memories he has is the Santa line event.
But their technology is antiquated compared to mine. There's no government on this planet that has the technology that I have or can outdo what I have, because you can't outdo the fractal.
Terrence has developed a sort of messiah complex. Everything he speaks and claims is designed to paint him as someone ultra special, an ultra mystical, woo-woo, enlightened, scientific genius. He's an actor playing the role of a scientific genius with memorized lines, but those memorized lines don't connect together in a logically coherent way.
I'm saying is now we have invented a new form of flight that I would like to bring here to Uganda to replace the drones, to replace the helicopters, to replace the planes. You sure about that? As a swarm, as a colony that can defend the nation, that can harvest food. You sure about that? That can remove plastics from the ocean. He will not be taking any questions.
He calls his own form of logic Terryology. That should be a red flag at the degree of narcissism that he is engaged in. He wants to rewrite the most basic structure of mathematics and change it to his own frickin' name. That is the height of arrogance and messiah complex.
The moment that you had that add the times in there, that multiplicative indicator, that means there is more than one.
The dude's entire personality is based on trying to convince the world that 1 times 1 is 2, and that everyone in world history and right now is completely wrong. And if kids in schools simply weren't lied to with their calculators and platonic solids and straight lines and 1 times 1, everything in the world would magically get better because of reasons, because of Terryology. Anybody who can't see this is an idiot. I don't know why Joe Rogan allowed him to just babble such nonsense. I know Joe Rogan is a chameleon when he has people on, but he should have pushed back a little bit more because it's pretty ridiculous.
Newton's law is the basic that we go to understand anything in nature. So Newton's third law says that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? Okay. So if 1 times 1 equals 1, then here we have an action and an action without a reaction.
Basic math, 1 times 1 is not physics. No, 1 times 1 is not an action. It's an abstraction, not being applied to anything. This dude is confusing mental abstraction with applied physics. 1 times 1 equals 1 is not a physics equation, you doofus.
With math or science, $1 million, if they can build a better model of the common factor of the universe than I can. So Newton's third law says that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? Okay.
It has absolutely nothing to do with Newton. 1 times 1 was true and known by humanity long before Newton and his apple tree.
Okay. We can never get to 2 if 1 times 1 equals 1.
All he's doing is creating semantic word salad pseudo-nonsense in order to appear intelligent to dummies. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect meets Messiah complex.
As a child, I studied chemical engineering at Pratt Institute.
He on many occasions makes the claim that he went to university as a kid, which is a provable lie. I think in reality, he was a kid that got 1 + 1 and 1 times 1 confused on his first grade times table test, and he hasn't gotten over it. People at university clearly saw how crazy he was and couldn't deal with him, hence why he was pushed out, and then he lied about it on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. So you went to, what school did you go to?
Well, I went to South Carolina State University, and they gave me my doctorate in applied materials and chemical engineering.
You actually know how to do this stuff.
Yes.
You're not just the celebrity that bought into it?
No, the process is very simple. There's 2 ways of growing diamonds. You can grow them either
Hold on, let me get a pad.
Why does he lie about these things on national television when it's very easily proved to be a lie? Because it makes his ego feel good in the moment, and that's the only thing that matters to him.
Oh my goodness, I had, I was doing Iron Man. Yeah. Out of nowhere, that gets taken away.
I think another major form of trauma he has that plays into how he's developed into this is this weird resentment and deep jealousy he has towards Robert Downey Jr., or even the character of Tony Stark himself. He wants to present himself as this real Iron Man or this real Tony Stark.
She was like, this is what you'll be remembered for, and your acting be just a footnote. They had to spin, he was terrible on set and all of these things, and went through all this stuff, and I'm calling Robert Downey Jr. I'm calling him because
he can't handle that he didn't make it into the MCU permanently, and the years went by, he just got crazier and crazier. I think that's why he says this right here in this clip, which is pretty disturbing.
Because I was angry. I was really angry. And I was going to use all of the knowledge that I had, and I was going to destroy mankind.
Oh my God, right out of Marvel.
Yeah, that's pretty concerning.
And I called my friend that I helped get the first job, and he didn't call me back for 3 months.
Right. How are things now with your friend?
Oh, I love him. God's going to bless him. Oh, I love him. God's going to bless him.
I wonder how Robert Downey Jr. feels about all of this. It'd be interesting to hear Joe Rogan interview Robert Downey Jr. and ask him about his thoughts on Terrence Howard.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
You'll see hydrogen sitting all the way over there by itself, but they don't show that hydrogen has the same tone as carbon.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E.
Also, the periodic table is apparently organized the wrong way. Actually, no, it's not, Terry. The periodic table is appropriately organized by atomic number, the number of protons and electrons in an element. We don't have to rearrange it. We have a workable system of chemistry that builds the modern technological world around us.
You balance it out. It gets to a perfect balance of plus and minus 4. So it's a double tone.
Reorganizing the periodic table by tones is just another way for him to display how special he is. All these theories and ideas he likely steals from other people and then represents them in a misinterpreted way. Even if there was a different way of categorizing the elements based on tone, frequency, or whatever arbitrary nonsense, it doesn't invalidate the standard periodic table based on atomic number.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E.
Don't you dare question me, Joe. It's the key of E. It's the key of E, of course. What are you talking about, dude? You just don't get it. You're just not open-minded enough. Terry is obviously like way smarter than you. Can you describe to me specifically what he's actually talking about? Not really. You're just not open-minded enough, dude. He blends terminology from different scientific fields with flowery New Age language from different esoteric philosophies like Hermeticism, and likes to pretend what he is saying is his own and original. You just don't get it. He's way more enlightened than you.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
It really is frightening the amount of people that think this dude is a genius in the comment section. I mean, most people see through this nonsense, but still there's a lot of people who don't because that's just the internet, I guess. It's a perfect example of how cults form. A narcissistic figure with a god complex says things with absolute and utter confidence, damaged and or dumb people who can't distinguish between meaning and nonsense, buy into it all, and then they feel special themselves, and then when people try to correct them and explain to them why they're wrong, it just pushes them deeper into their martyrdom. It's like a martyrdom syndrome, where any evidence pointing to the contrary of these idiotic beliefs just further confirms as to why the cult is correct. But many people in that realm just automatically, by default, go to anything that seems to go against the establishment or the norm. There is no ability to separate the baby from the bathwater. Anyways, I think that about covers it. Terrence Howard is a bozo, and anybody who can't see that is a bozo themselves. Sorry to break it to you. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below. Thank you very much, and bye.
Well, you have to remember our entire world economy is based on 1 × 1 = 1. So if you can prove that an action times an action equals a reaction. Reach out to Elon Musk, man, and Jeff Bezos. If they want to finish, I got his solution.